Hi everyone, I'm Tom Slivick. Welcome to TSPN's News for today. Let's get into our stories. The Amador Water Agency Board of Directors regular meeting is set for March 14th, 9 a.m. at 12800 Ridge Road in Sutter Creek. On the agenda will be staff reports. They'll be provided by department heads to update the Board of Directors on current activities within their areas of responsibility, from administration, finance, and field services. The only item on the agenda for discussion and possible action is an item regarding participation in the Amador County Fair. Also, there will be additional committee reports by the Budget and Finance Committees and the Engineering Committee. Also announced and set for March 28th, the board plans a field tour, weather permitting. The Jackson City Council's regular meeting is scheduled for Monday, March 11th. At 7 p.m. at the Jackson City Hall, 33 Broadway in Jackson. The meeting will begin with a presentation of Jackson Fire Department's awards. Firefighter of the Year is Jason Fishback, with Daniel Fishback will receive the David Gardella Award for Most Dedicated Firefighter of the Year. And matters on the agenda for discussion and possible action are first, the wastewater treatment plant improvement project, the final environmental impact report and project approval, award of bid, Eve Way, sewer lane improvement, and the second item is authorization to submit a grant application for electric vehicle charging stations. The last item on the agenda is discussion with possible action, a letter opposing SB 7 Steinberg for local control. The Amador County Recreation Agency Board meeting is set for March 13th at 2 p.m. at 810 Court Street in Jackson. That's the Board of Supervisors Chambers. Matters on the agenda for discussion and possible action are item A, budget report. Item B, the continued JPA updates for possible revision of the JPA. Item E, bingo, and that's for discussion only. Item F is a discussion and possible action on the Molly Joyce cost estimates. The last agenda item will be item G, a discussion and possible action of Molly Joyce caretaker. Next up is the director's report and discussion, followed by reports and discussion on park maintenance grants, programs, and donations. And lastly, the board member reports will be given. On February 28th, the State Board of Equalization voted to increase the new highway users tax account, that's HUTA, the excise tax, that is, and the rate by 3.5 cents, beginning the current excise tax of adding to the excise tax is going to bring it up to 39.5 cents per gallon. The excise tax laws were put into place by former Governor Schwarzenegger in 2010, which developed a new tax structure for gasoline known as the fuel tax swap to replace Proposition 42 sales tax on gasoline. The fuel tax swap included an annual index to ensure the new excise tax mirrors revenues that would have been generated through the traditional sales tax on gasoline and required by the Board of Equalization to make the necessary adjustments by March 1st each year. Comparatively, the fuel tax swap also set in place a new tax structure on diesel fuel. Sales tax is increased while the state excise tax on diesel fuel is simultaneously decreased. For additional information, please contact RCRC's legislative analyst, Rendell Echeverria at RECHEVE, make that EARRIA at rcrc.net. And earlier this week, the Budget and Fiscal Review Subcommittee number 2 on Resources, Environmental Protection, Energy, and Transportation held their first hearing on resource-related budget items. Senator Jim Bell, California, Democrat of Santa Clara, newly appointed chair of the subcommittee, indicated in his opening comments that a number of programs and departments within resources were grossly underfunded and that both cost recovery measures and fees that have been raised in years would be looked at as committee moves forward in reviewing the budget. Senator Hannah Beth Jackson Democrat of Santa Barbara, concurred with the comments of Senator Beal and stated that she would like to know from the Natural Resource Agency and departments the necessary level of resources to adequately fund all the programs. Senator Jim Nielsen, a Republican Butte, stated that there needs to be control language in the budget that would restrict the moving of funds by a department or agency without legislative approval and oversight. The subcommittee passed out $6.6 million item in the Timber Regulation and Forest Restoration Fund and 49 new positions for implementation of AB 1492 from last year, which addressed timber harvest plan regulations on a 2-0 vote. After hearing from the Department of Parks and Recreation, Chair Beal made it clear that an accounting of costs of each park in the system is a necessary component of approving various budget measures, such as capital outlay projects for the department. And Director Majority General Anthony Jackson stated that it was one of his top priorities for the department. The committee will continue to hold a number of hearings on all the departments within the California Natural Resources Agency, that's Cal EPA, and Transportation in the coming weeks, as will all the Senate and Assembly budget subcommittees within their policy areas. And let's take a quick look at our weather. Today we have a beautiful day. It's sunny, a high of 67, a low of 48, winds out of the west 5 miles an hour. On Tuesday, sunny high 70 with a low of 49, winds east 6 miles an hour. And on Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 74 and a low of 51. Our air quality index report, ozone levels are moderate Monday at 52 and moderate on Tuesday at 52. Make sure it's a permissible burn day before you light that fire. Give them a call at 223-6246 to make sure it is okay to burn. And we're going to be having our pre-agenda report with the Board of Supervisors by Richard Forster right after this break, so stay with us here on TSPN.
You're watching Amador County's local television network, TSPN.